the loudest van in the world, dude. What's going in here? What a whistle. Wow. Okay, maybe I'll just wait like the minute and a half it's going to take for him to deliver that. I'll just wait. How's you? How's your day been? All good? Let me know in the comments. There he goes. See you later, pal. Come back again soon. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scott Thorn and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on www.sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. That was flat. Oh well. So we are going to be going back to the three most adorable little boys in the Philippines. I would wager a bet on that being true. The TNT Boys. We're going to go back and listen to them. Now, I made a point in the last video saying that they sounded like the mini Bee Gees, and I have been told that there is a Bee Gees performance by them. So I am going to have a wee look at that. It's from something called Your Face Sounds Familiar. So I think they dress up as the characters. I think this is where the Bang Bang video came from. So we're gonna watch the Bee Gees. I've seen like a little image in the thumbnail and it looks properly hilarious. So we'll see how I fare with this. I could just end up killing myself laughing the whole time, but we'll find out. Let's just go ahead. So this is the TNT Boys singing Too Much Heaven by the Bee Gees. So here we go. Oh my god, look at that wee one's head. I can't. Oh no.
Nobody gets too much love anymore. It's as high as a mountain and harder to climb.
They're so good.
Got a lot of love in store, and it flows through you, and it flows through me, and I love you so much more than my life.
Ooh. Okay, before they go into the second bit, what? Right, first of all, this is hilarious. They are such good sports. Second of all, they are singing up an absolute storm. They have just got such a lovely, light, playful energy. Now, they're kids, so that is pretty much just a given. It's built into children. I like the fact that they've taken their playful energy and they've applied it to more kind of contemporary kind of adult music, but they're still feeding into that playfulness. Sometimes you get folks that try and buff that out of kids and make them sound too adult. That's not the case here. They're doing things that is like mimicry of the Bee Gees. They're like adopting some of their vocal traits, like that kind of kind of sound. So that's a very nasal sound. It's where we're applying lots and lots of twang, and we're pushing air at the same time. So rather than a kind of sound, which is essentially like the really heavy version of that, you have to brighten it up and kind of push a lot of air through it and mist it up a bit. So you go that's kind of the Bee Gees sound. That was pretty stupid. You get the idea. The kind of little crescendo that he did there was really, really impressive. But the thing that's really jumping out at me now, if you're a singer, it might not, no, if you're not a singer even, it might not even come into your head that they're singing with like prosthetics on. At least two of them have got them over their nose. There's beards and things stuck onto their faces, so everything's kind of tightened up around here. Now, if you've got something covering your nose, it's quite hard to even speak, you know. So I'm assuming that they've taken things into account and they've just built over over the top of their noses, and they're not getting in the way. But in order for that kind of not to crack, you have to be a little bit more kind of gentle with your facial movements. So they're singing a Bee Gees song whilst having the disadvantage of having to be conscious of having a different face. I mean, it's baffling, but very, very impressive. Anyway, let's keep going with the TNT Boys. TNT. That was a terrible note. Okay. That was nice. Very far back place. Oh. Give a round of applause for Bee Gees! Give a round of applause, I will. They were super, 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 super good. Their harmonies are always on point as well. Like, it just doesn't matter what they do. They seem to have a really good working relationship with each other. They know where each person's vocal line lays. It can take a long time for vocal groups to get that kind of right and to get it into the right place so that it blends well. You know, a lot of times when you get 3 or more singers, they each want to be up in this place, and you have to kind of convince one to try a lower line, or get one to try a higher line, and it takes a wee bit of shuffling about before you're like, right, there's where everyone's comfortable, and that's where it sounds good. You know, there's 2 elements to it. Sometimes a person that's much better at singing lower might not be the best person for that job because their tone doesn't suit it with the rest of the group. These 3 have got it down. They just have that blend down perfect. Their imitation is really, really good, and I think that's quite a common thing in the Philippines with Filipino singers. They all seem to like be able to mimic other voices, which just tells me that music is a huge thing in the Philippines and singing is a huge thing in the Philippines, and they're learning from listening to their peers and adopting those traits naturally, which is great. That's kind of how I started as well. I listened to folk that I liked and tried to put my voice into places where I sounded more like that. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but as long as you can make that sound, then what's the biggie? You know, you don't need to understand it as long as it works. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But once you get into the kind of mechanics of singing, it becomes a lot easier to then to shift around and to aid you with your vocal health and your support and everything else. So I don't know what the point of that was. I mean, the main takeaway from this is that I'm just so impressed that they did an entire song with glue and hair and latex and all that stuff on their face. You could see the ones with the mustaches, their top lips were pretty much frozen, so they only really had this to work with. Nobody that's loving the world and da 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 da, which kind of helps when it's the Bee Gees actually, because they have that kind of nasal quality to their voices. So maybe it helped them, but I can't imagine it would have. That is definitely harder. It's harder to sing with prosthetics on your face, no question. But they absolutely smashed it. They're so talented. 3 little vocal juggernauts. That's what I've got to say on that. So I hope you enjoyed that reaction. If you did, please give it a little like, a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, then hit subscribe and ring the bell. And anytime I release new videos, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And let's do a Bee Gees bye. So how would you do a Bee Gees bye? Bye.